D, secular Buddhist, calling in from Iowa. I believe D called in a few weeks ago, wanting to talk about some of their experiences. D, you are live on Truth Wanted. What's going on?
Hi again, Dan.
Hey, D, what's happening?
By the way, Drew, actually the FDA forced Costco to recall that butter. They didn't
Actually, what I was reading today was that though the FDA is receiving a lot of flack for that, for them apparently forcing, that's what everyone's assuming, that the FDA forced them. But actually, it's been shown that the FDA has it labeled as a voluntary recall.
Okay.
And that the reason why Costco came out and said the reason why they voluntarily did the recall was so that they can help build a brand of honesty and transparency. If they made a mistake and didn't list that milk is in the butter, because they had it as cream, but they didn't specify that it was milk cream, dairy cream.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just wanted to show, hey, you know what, for all who might be seeking to avoid dairy, let's make sure that it's there and that we focus on transparency and honesty.
And, hey, as someone who exclusively buys vegan butter, I'll say I'll appreciate it. Now, granted, I already go to my go-to brands. Okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna be looking up stuff. I'm gonna look it up later. But yeah, there's something to be said about that. So hey, that's interesting. But D, I know you didn't call us to talk about butter. What did you call in to talk to us about?
What do you got, D?
No. Well, you started out the show talking about gaslighting, and then Drew said a lot of great things about building community. And I'm trying to revitalize the atheist, free thinker, skeptic community in my area. And so I started joining some other groups. One out on the other side of the state. And, I started asking questions like, what do you guys do? What's important to everybody here? What are your stories? What would you like to see in a group? And I started getting some pushback and a lot of passive aggressive, I don't know. Is passive aggressive gaslighting a thing? I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I can't tell you exactly. I can only read definitions off the internet and pretend like, I'm smart enough to understand the full consequences of that. But yeah, I don't know.
It was a good definition, though.
Yeah. I mean, like a couple of people are like, well, personally, I'm not interested in community. Okay, fine. You don't have to engage. That's cool. Some people are trying to recreate a church experience. Okay. And just, a lot of negativity. And I'm thinking, well, if you're not interested in a community, why are you on the Facebook group? I mean, that's pretty much what people look for.
That's true.
That's pretty much what people look for when they join a group, I said, that's cool. You don't have to engage. If you think that some people are trying to recreate church, then why don't you just come right out and say so to my face, basically.
Yeah. And you know what? For me,
bothers me.
What's cool about doing your own little version of a community is that you can take all the good parts about church and you can take out all the stuff that's like not as cool and do whatever you want with it. I think that's what makes it fun. It doesn't. There are some people who really enjoy the structure and the singing and stuff, and that's great for those folks. For me, it's like I personally enjoyed being in a group of just like-minded people that care about stuff, so that's the cool thing when there's ostensibly no God, is that you can kind of just do what you want with your space, right?
Yeah, right.
Let me ask you,
and not end up getting stoned.
Right, exactly.
Well, you can get stoned if you want,
theoretically.
But
yes,
depends on your state, I think, at least in the U.S.
It's only medical here in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dee, something that I hear within your comment is there's different types of community. And there really are. So for some folks, and I guess with, having said that, that's okay, right? Sometimes we need to, everybody's looking for different types of community, different non-theists, different atheists, different doubters, skeptics, heretics of all sorts. Humans, we're all looking for different types of connection, different types of community. And sometimes one of the carryovers from a lot of the people seeking to build atheist community, whatever that might look like, one of the carryovers from many of us being former Christians is when we look to build community, whatever that means, we oftentimes carry with this idea that the community needs to be all things to all people because that's what the church was. And so we think of community as being all things to all people. And so we think our communities should do that as well. And it's a carryover oftentimes from our theology that in a sense is also baked into society as a whole, it seems. But so just stating that's okay. We can have different types of community for different types of humans, and no community can meet everyone's needs unless it's some sort of mega org that has several very distinct and very different branches and programs within it. But even then, if you get too programmed and institutionalized, then is any of it really organic, or at least it becomes harder to do that? So again, nothing is going to meet everything. You mentioned atheist church,
Right.
Or something smacking of atheist church. And some people really crave that. We actually have the first non-theistic group to use the term humanist in a secular sense, or maybe I'll say the first time, because humanist, you think of like humanism, philosophical humanism, you think of Renaissance era humanism. The first time the term humanist was used in a non-theistic context as opposed to theism was by a community based here in the Twin Cities. It was, for all intents and purposes, an atheist church. And they were the first ones to use, they branded the term religious humanism that spun off the AHA as secular humanism, the American Humanist Association. And that's the humanist community that I work with, help lead, and teach sometimes there. And so, but it is atheist church. Like you walk in on Sunday morning, it feels like church. And it's a little too much church for me, but it's singing hymnals. You're singing out of the hymnal in wooden pews. It is church. But here's the thing. Though most atheists, former Christians who walk in there are like, they take 2 steps in and be like, oh, hell no, no thank. They turn around and they walk out and they're looking for a house party instead. For some people, that is what they're looking for. They crave the feeling of church, just without the God stuff. So I won't go on any more about that, but just to say, embrace whatever feels right for you. Whatever it is you're looking for will be the most easy for you to build because it's what you are looking for rather than trying to build what other people are looking for. And then those who are like-minded looking for the same thing, that can be a little tougher, finding the other people that are also looking for it. It takes some time, but I would focus on that direction. And anybody who's like, well, this isn't what I'm looking for, great. Then you go look for what you're looking for. This is what we're doing here, though. I don't know if that's helpful. But.
Sure. Yeah, it is very, very much so. And, I want to be open. And I do have specific goals in mind, but I know that we've got to build a foundation first. And I think that, to be, what do I want to say? Kind of, let everybody have a say, and start, making those bricks and setting them.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, 2D? I couldn't tell you the names of the first people at the board of directors of the atheist community in Austin. Couldn't tell you. But their work is the reason why I'm here doing stuff today, right? And that's what's really cool is that being a part of a community and leading a part of a community is also so that it can sustain itself and grow into its old thing, into its own thing. You don't have to be the one that has to dictate those values. They can come from the people that are part of it themselves, right? And take part in that.
Exactly.
So you don't have to feel this pressure of, I got to do everything. Now, the whole point of a community is that you don't have to do everything, right? So that's super great that you're doing that work, because like we really need that right now, right? I think most of us can agree that's something that definitely should be done. So very cool, D. Anything else you want to add before we let you go?
No, just thanks for calling me out on the butter thing. It's great to be wrong in front of so many people.
I apologize. I should have been more gentle with that. You know.
No. It's a joke. It's a joke, honestly.
D, I'd be awesome if like you go to the grocery store and like, are you D from Iowa on Truth Line? That was so funny. You were wrong about the butter thing.
I like,
you know?
Yeah, I should go to Costco, shouldn't I? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
for sure.
Thanks so much. You have a great
Thank you so much, D. It was great meeting you.